Alrighty, welcome to Mastering Compositions. Now, compositions are usually regarded as a hard thing to learn. I'm going to make them quick, easy, simple, just for you guys because I love you so much, and I hope you love me too. I really do. But anyway, so making compositions, we're gonna zoom through this because I know you guys are absolute G's. Alright, so here's what we're gonna cover. Number one, understanding the composition basics. So use compositions to group your edits and manage them as a single unit. Set the resolution, frame rate, and duration to match your project's needs. Nested compositions. Using pre-compositions to group multiple layers and apply effects more easily. Nest compositions when working with complex, multi-layered edits. Warning, this is the most important video in the entire course, so watch the entire video, don't skip, don't fast forward, trust me, you'll end up confused. If you really need to save some time, just watch the video in double speed. Now, compositions, I swear to God, hard to understand if someone's teaching you, like I am, but I'm hoping I'm going to do a good job. If you use them and do them, you'll understand it almost instantly, and then once you start using them, you will use them more than anything else. They're insane. Alright, so create a composition. Start by creating a composition to serve as the foundation of your project. So we've already done that. I'm going to show you what it looks like just so you guys know. That's what this was. That was a composition that we made. Okay? So we're not going to worry about doing that because you guys have already done it. So we set the resolution, we set the frame rate, we set the duration, we added media. So you guys have already done that. So see, you guys are just so insane. A minute and a half and you already completed all that. How cool. You guys are just insane. Nested compositions. We're going to go more in depth. Pre-compose. Select layers and pre-compose them to group multiple elements together. It's exactly what that says. You're taking multiple things, you're grouping them into one. So for example, all these videos, these three here are the video. So if we take all of them, right click, pre-compose, move all the attributes into a new composition, and click OK, it has now turned them into one. It has pushed them together into a single group. So the best way for me to explain this is if you have edited before, I guarantee you, if you're on CapCut or something, you've made an effect, didn't want it to get changed, so you exported it in so it's its own MP4 file and brought that back in. That's basically what this is, except you don't have to export it, and you still get the benefit of double-clicking it, opening it, and still having everything inside. If you haven't used it before and you're a bit confused what happened, basically I've taken the three that were there and just slid them into one. So you see how the ends of all these all line up? Cool, I'll take all three of them, right click, pre-compose, move all the attributes into the new composition, and it just squished them all together, basically. But if I double click it, I can go inside, open it up, and have a look. Now, when you double click and open it up, it'll open a new tab up over here on the top left of this little bottom part. To get back to the main part, just click here, and if you don't need to be inside it anymore, just exit off and it'll take you back. Cool. So I hope that's easy to understand for you guys. So name the nested composition. Name your pre-compositions clearly for easy navigation. So one main thing that I use pre-compositions for is, for example, clips. So if I take everything back out of here, put it back here. So if, for example, I've got clips and then I've got all my clips all over the place, and it's really annoying because I've got to scroll up and down a lot. So I highlight all my clips, right click, pre-compose, move all the layers, and I say clips. Now I know inside that pre-composition are all my clips. If I right click over here on this one, I can just rename it after I do it, and I know it's my music, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to highlight all my Twitter PNGs, right click, pre-compose, call it PNGs. Move all the attributes into the new composition, okay. And these are all my nulls, so I'm going to select them all, right click, pre-compose, move all the attributes, call it null. Now, see, I went from like 8 lines or so, no, not 8, I went from like 16, 20 lines, me scrolling up and down, to just 4, and if I need to edit any of the original, I can just double click, and it opens it up, and the name pops up there too, which is an even better thing. So if I want to open my clips, double click, there's my clips, and it says clips, cool. Click back here onto my main composition again, sick. So that's how composition works. Now, the second thing that compositions are really good for is effects. So if I had like 20 of these, instead of finding an effect, so let me move my pretty face out of the way here. I add the effects panel if it's not there. So if I want to add the invert effect, instead of me dragging it onto each individual one, which is a pain in the ass, especially when you have a lot of clips, if you pre-compose them here and drag it onto that pre-composition, it'll just apply it to all of them. But what's even cooler is if you open it up, it's not applied to this, which means I can double invert it. and come back. I don't know if that's confusing anyone or not. It probably is, but anyway, so it's basically saying the inside stays the same. We've combined them, put a sheet over the top, and the effects on that sheet, if that makes sense. So that's what pre-compositions are good for. They're good for adding effects. If you add an effect, there's a good idea. If you're ever going to add an effect to anything, pre-compose it first, then add the effect. Then that way the effect won't get done with. Because there's multiple things that can mess with effects where you edit. If you pre-compose, and none of them can affect with the can mess around with the effects anymore. So pre-composing is a great idea before you add any effects. All right, edit the nested comps. Double-click the nested compositions to edit individual elements without affecting the main composition. So yeah, I just showed you that. Apply effects. Yep, add effects to nested compositions to keep your main timeline clean. Use for organization. Use nesting to simplify complex projects with multiple layers. Cool. Boom. 6 minutes. One of the most complicated, a very complicated thing to learn that you'll use all the time. And we got it done in 6 minutes because you guys are just fucking G's. That's how good you guys are. All right. So as usual in the summary, we're just going to understand composition basics, use compositions to structure your project, setting resolution, frame rate, and duration to match your editing needs, and start adding media to build your edit. Nested composition. So pre-compose layers to simplify complex edits, name them clearly, and apply effects or edits within the nested compositions to keep your timeline tidy. So, as usual, if I was too fast, if I didn't make sense, if my Australian accent throws you the fuck off, because I'm a weirdo and I suck at presentating, pull up. $20 whoever wins. Or just go down below for the cheat sheet, because the cheat sheet's just got everything on it. Everything that I've done step by step, button by button, for you guys to go through and learn how to do if I didn't make sense, or if you just prefer reading. Cool. I'll see you in the next one.